it's Tilly from Food and Home, and today we are making an apple and berry pie. Let's get started. We are gonna start off with our pastry. We'll have flour, salt, and butter. So you're just gonna mix this all together using your fingertips. So you mix this until it crumbs up a bit. Once your pastry has crumbed, you're just gonna add in ice water. So the reason why we add ice water is to make this more flaky. Now we're gonna dust our surface so that we can knead our dough just a little bit and then form a little round ball before we cover it with cling wrap. After kneading your dough and forming a ball, you're just gonna cover it with cling wrap and then put it in the fridge just so it sets up and firms up a bit. Now that I have this wrapped up, I'm just gonna put it in the fridge for about an hour and then clean up my set because we clean as we go. Just getting a bit of salt. While the pastry is setting in the fridge, I will now make my caramel sauce. I just need sugar, salt, water, butter, and a bit of cream. And don't worry, the recipe will be in the link that is in the description box. You guys better clink it. So the trick when making this caramel sauce, always make it on medium heat. Start off by just dissolving your sugar and water. Once it's this golden amber color, I'm just gonna add in my butter. The next step will be our cream. Then now we're just gonna finish off our sauce with a bit of salt. It smells so good. So now I'm just gonna transfer it in a jar just so that it cools down. Now I'm gonna slice my apple. You have an option to peel it if you want, but because we need more fiber in our bodies, we're gonna keep the peels on. Make sure that your slices are very thin. Transfer this to a bowl, just so that it doesn't overcrowd your space. Now we're just gonna squeeze some lemon juice. You can use the store-bought lemon juice if you don't have fresh lemon. So I'm just gonna strain our lemon juice and then add it to our apples. This also helps with the browning, so it doesn't allow the apples to brown. Then now I'm just gonna sprinkle some sugar and toss it well, just so that everything is like fully coated with the lemon juice and the sugar. So we're gonna let this sit for like 10 minutes and then we'll add in the berries. So now I'm just gonna add in my berries. So for the berries, I only have blackberries and raspberries, so you can use any berries that you want, blueberries or strawberries, or you can just mix all the berries. I'll just stick to 2. Now I'm gonna add in my spice mix, nutmeg and cinnamon, and then add in a bit of flour. So while you're mixing, just make sure that everything is well coated. I love the rich smell of the cinnamon and the nutmeg. So now that this is done, I'm just gonna go get my pastry from the fridge and then we're gonna roll it out. And this is the part where you preheat your oven to 200 degrees. So before you roll out your pastry, just make sure that you always dust your surface with a bit of flour. So before rolling this out, I'm just gonna divide it in 2. So one will be for the base and one will be for the lettuce. So while you're rolling it out, just make sure that it's like not too flat, but maybe 1/2 centimeter. Now that I'm done rolling my base, I'm gonna take my pie dish and then just grease it with baking spray. If you want to see that your base will fit on your pie dish, just put it here. And then once you can see the overlapping sides, then you know that it's going to fit in properly. This is how your base must look in your pie dish. The caramel has now cooled down, so we're just gonna spoon it, not all of it, maybe 3 tablespoons to our base, and then bake it. So you're not gonna use all of the caramel, just 3 tablespoons. Now we're just gonna place this for 5 minutes in the oven. Now I'm just gonna spoon in our filling. Make sure that everything is evenly distributed. As you can see, we have like excess water here. Make sure that you don't add this to your filling. Try by all means to not add it in. Now we're gonna roll this out for the lettuce. Don't be so scared by the big word, guys. It's just the top, right? It's the top. While you're cutting your pastry, always just use a ruler to get like accurate measurements of the strips. For this pie, I am working with 2 centimeters, so I'm just gonna be cutting mine to be like 2 centimeters apart. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you can always just use a knife. Before putting the strips on top, make sure you top with the remaining caramel sauce. Now we're just gonna place 6 strips in rows at the top. Yeah. Be very gentle when doing this. So this is how the lettuce looks. I'm just gonna pin down the video on our description box so that you can watch and learn how to make this yourself. Now I'm just gonna wash this with some egg wash and then put it in the oven. The reason why we do this egg wash is to give it like a golden color and a bit of like a flaky crust. After the egg wash, you just sprinkle a bit of sugar on the top. It helps with like the texture as well as the sweetness. So this is gonna go into the oven for 35 minutes. Do you wanna come? And this is our final product, our very delicious apple and berry pie. I'm just gonna slice it and enjoy it. Well, you can serve this with ice cream, whipped cream, or drizzle just a bit of honey. And here's your go-to dessert with your guests. So I guess the next time you look for a dessert for your guests, you'll come back to this video and also click the link that's in the description box for the detailed recipe. I will go ahead and enjoy mine.